Hey everybody, and welcome back to the Crypto Night Show. Your host Superman in the house. Well. Just had a little technical difficulties there getting it up and running, but I think we're live. So welcome everybody. Don't forget to smash the subscribe and all that good stuff. Let me just check X to see whether X is up and running. It doesn't look like I can see it there. It says it's streaming, but I don't see it there at all. So let me know if you're on X right now. Let's see how that's going. Yeah, it says I'm streaming. Let's have a look. Oh no, I'm there. I'm there, just invisible. So don't forget to hit the repost button on the X and share it around. Also, if you're on YouTube, don't forget to smash subscribe on the way in as well. And I think we're there. I think we're good. What's it got here? Let me see. Share, copy, share via. I don't know. It's definitely there on the streaming site. Let's have a look here. Yeah, I don't know. It's not showing up on the. It says I'm streaming on the main thing, but it doesn't show up in my thread, which is kind of weird. Got 0 views on it at the moment, which is kind of weird too. Let's see what happens there. I don't know. Maybe you have to. What does it say? Post it. Post this. Yeah. Okay. We're going to post that live now. I guess we'll just say live now. And post that under. Let's see whether that works as well. All right, so yeah, that's working. So kind of cool. Let me pin that to the top there. Sorry about the slight delay, technical difficulties, but you know how things go. You know how things go in the land of social media. All right, so we're going to get into the markets today. We've got a lot to talk about. Let's see if anyone else has reposted there. Not yet. So hopefully that's all good now. People will be able to see that show. I don't see anybody coming in on X yet on the stats. So let's see if the stat shows up in a minute. All right, so let's kick it into gear and talk about the stock market. And don't forget to say hello in the comments as well. But we've got a good result in the market overnight. We're up 0.2% on the Dow Jones. That's cool. 95 points to 49,709. And we have a look at the little chart here over the last year. We're not quite back at all-time highs, which was only back in February, but we're heading in the right direction. And the S&P 500 as well, up similar amount, 1/5%, 14 points to 7,412. And we are on record levels. Isn't that awesome? So record levels, S&P 500. NASDAQ up 0.1%, 27 points to 26,276. Look at that. Record levels, record. We go to the max chart. Look at that thing. It's up and away. We're in the era of intelligence, the AI boom, and crypto blockchain boom. It's going to be huge. And then I think we're not very far. Next year has to be it. Humanoid robots, mass production. If not by the end of this year, I know there are certain places building, but we're talking about mass adoption, like million unit type plants. It's going to be insane, isn't it? It takes a lot to get up to 7 or 8 billion to match the amount of people on the planet. But it's coming. It's going to be weird, guys. Honestly, it's going to be like kind of cute and cool at the beginning. And then it's going to be like really weird after that. Just think about it a little bit. Imagine seeing, the amount. It won't be everywhere, of course, but imagine seeing the robots, as many robots around as people. Think about that. That's kind of weird, right? It's kind of weird. We're going to see how that evolves. But yeah, that'd be pretty crazy. Afternoon all. Good to see you, Craig. Welcome to the chat as well, and Sean as well. Good morning. Up only, baby. Up only indeed. All right, we'll move on. So we've got the VIX at the moment is sitting at 18, up slightly, about 7%. US dollar is just below 98, so pretty similar to where it's been recently. Oil is up a bit, 1% on West Texas at $99, still under 100. There's about a 50% premium in there, right? So maybe more. So we got Brent oil there as well, up at 1%, 98 cents to $105, or still over $100. So still elevated there, and also 60% premium, something like that, and there 50-60%. And of course we got Trump rejected the Iranian deal, and of course remember you're dealing with extremely radical terrorist state. Even if you've taken off the top couple of leadership levels, the regime is still pretty big. So if you think about it, Iran's a pretty big country. I think there's about 90 million people. So if you take 10% of that are like fully supportive of the regime, it's still a lot of people, right? 9 million, and essentially controlling a lot of the bureaucracy and military and things like that. So There's quite a lot. Now, obviously, there's the 80-90% that are against the regime, and that's where their problems are going to be moving forward, right? That's going to become increasingly problematic for the Iranian people. Sorry, for the Iranian regime. Yeah, we'll see how that goes. But no one wants them to have a nuclear bomb, and you're just insane if you think that they're going to be okay with the nuclear bomb, because they're going to use them. They're going to use them. You don't want that. Excavator in the house there. Hey, gang, great to see you. And we've got Leech Star as well. Let's get bullish. We need to leave the bears behind. I think that's happening, Leech Star. I think it's happening. We're talking about that now. And of course, the crypto stock market's up. Gold's up also today, 0.25%, $11 to 4,740. And have a look at that chart on the last year. We can see it's rolled over a little bit. We've definitely got lower highs. And the silver there is up 1.3% today, $1.11 at $87. That's we had a couple of lower highs, but we're breaking that. So let's see where this leads for silver. Let's see where it leads. Obviously, people talk about the supply requirement for modern technology, which is fine. But we do, if you look at this chart over the last year, we do have a big fat premium, market premium in there. How much of that will be sold back down? This question. We are in boom time though, so may very well stay elevated. Maybe we'll get a double top there. Copper, interesting enough. Normally having copper and gold go up together, kind of weird, but obviously gold's come down a bit. But copper there is still looking pretty good, $6.50 all-time highs as well. I think that's pretty much all-time highs. Yeah, all-time highs. And normally, copper's kind of an indication of a boom, right? You need copper for electricity networks and things like that, so yeah, we've got copper in the mix as well. So interesting times there. We are waiting for the CPI, the Consumer Price Index, one of the two inflation indexes for the Federal Reserve. So that's coming in for April. It's due on Tuesday morning. So that's coming up, guys. We're expecting, or at least the market is expecting it to go to 3.7% year on year, or core CPI, which takes out energy and food. It's expected to remain mostly at 2.7%. Remember, the Fed funds rate is I'm just forgetting what it is now. 3.5 to 3.75, I think it is. Yeah. So still about a percentage point above that core inflation rate there. Hence why I think it should be cut. Right. It's why I think it should be cut there. So that is pretty much it. Wall Street is etching out gains, and of course we've been going through earnings season, and it's been pretty damn good, right? So AI there have been delivering some pretty good returns there. All right, let's jump away from that. We're going to quickly go to the calendar here, economic calendar, and look at that data coming up. We've got a lot of economic data coming up this week, right? So if we look at this week, and let's go to, let's go filters, and let's go just high importance 3 stars already defaulted there, and we can see that tomorrow we got the CPI. We've got the CPI year on year was 3.3 last month. They're expecting 3.7% this month. What else we got? We got PPI, Producers Price Index. So that's the wholesale prices, sort of the factory prices, and that is we're expecting 0.5% growth there. That's just a month on month though. And then what else we got going on here? Retail sales will be pretty interesting, and so will initial jobless claims on Friday. So a bit of economic data due this week. And of course, as you guys know, on Thursday, we've got the expectation around the Clarity Act, right? The Clarity Act with the Senate Bank Committee, the write-up there. That's a huge day for crypto, and a big part perhaps of why the market is already starting to rally, right? Already starting to rally. We've got Mega DAO in the house as well. They're bullish on the markets, absolutely. And we're going to be talking about Mega DAO later on, because they're really hitting top of the charts again today on the old Pulsechain. All right, so that is the economic news coming up. Let's jump into the big announcement today, and that is that the U.S. Senate has advanced Kevin Warsh to become President Trump's chairman of the Federal Reserve. So that was pretty cool. They had the vote there. You can see the vote in the Senate, 50 yes and 44 nay. So cool. All right, so that. All right, so that was the vote. I don't know if you heard the audio or not. I can't remember whether I connected the audio, but that is the vote going through. So Kevin Walsh there on the left there are now going to be the Fed chair of the Fed essentially as he gets in there as one of the presidents. So that's pretty hyper bullish. and perhaps we might get at least one, if not two, cuts before the end of the year. So that would be bullish for crypto, right? Everything is going in the right direction. So let's jump over to the crypto markets right now. We're going to have a look at that, and we can see that we've got what have we got at the moment? We got total crypto market cap. Let's just do a refresh. 2.79 trillion, down 0.1%. So pretty flat day. But we had a pretty good time overnight, and I'm going to talk more about that in a minute. Bitcoin, pretty flat at the moment. Last 24 hours at $81,212. Still up 1.3% for the week though. Ethereum there down 1.3% at 2,314, down 2% for the week. XRP at number 3, up 0.7%, $1.46, up 4.9% for the week, so pretty cool. And of course, a lot of people are talking about XRP being the payment rails for a lot of these institutions coming into crypto, right? So there's got that narrative running. BNB at the moment up 1.1% at $662. That is up 6% for the week. And number 7, Solana up 1.2%, $95.65. Sorry, $96.52, up 14.4%. So Solana getting a lot of love there as well. And of course, we've got, I think they had quite a few. I think yesterday they had, was it another $2.5 billion of stablecoins, I think, was issued on Solana yesterday, if I remember a news pop up there. We've got Tron at the moment down 0.3%, 35 cents, up 2.4% for the week. And finally, number 10 is Doge, up 0.7% and sitting 11 cents. Now, we were waiting upon X money to be launched, a public launch, I think, for Elon Musk on X, and I haven't seen anything on that. I think that was supposed to be due about now. So let's see if it comes out this week. I haven't seen anything on that at the current time. So top 100 performer top 5 in the top 100. We got Bulldon, that's up 55% overnight, 24 hours. Venus token, I should say, 17.7%. Midnight or night there, 8.7%. Kronos up 7.4%. And Canton up 4.8%. They are best performers in the top 100. Top performers over the last week in the top 100. We've got Venus Token 96%, Bulldon 58%, Siren 48%, Ondo 40%. Now Ondo, remember, leading in tokenization and has had a really nice re-rate at 43 cents. I suspect that Ondo will go to many, many dollars in the bull run ahead, given that it's expanding rapidly with tokenization. And I think they have one big partner. I think maybe DCTT, I can't remember the exact acronym there, but they are obviously managing hundreds of trillions, I think it is, in dollars for the US. And I think they may be going on Ondo too. So we may see something happening there. So keep a look out for that anyway. Pulsechain, at number 5, up 39% for the week. So pretty cool stuff. It's starting to happen, right? It's starting to happen. We're starting to see repricing based on some of these big themes like tokenization, stable coins, and agentic AI is no doubt going to be ramping up soon too. So keep a look out for a lot of the players in those categories in particular are going to be pretty huge. All right, now top performers in top 1,000, we've got GigaTad, Bulldon, and Talcoin, all up pretty nicely between 69 and 35%. Trending overall, we've got Xano, Pulsechain, and Wojak. Those are trending on CoinGecko right now. So there we go. Pretty flat day in the markets, but we're getting some movers and shakers in some of the mega themes. So kind of cool. Jumping over to Bitcoin and zooming in on that in particular, let's have a look at where we are. We've got the hourly chart. We've got Sunday's volatility. I do think a lot of this is to do with, maybe sometimes it's news, but to do with the exchanges probably wrecking some of their perpetual players, going long and stuff like that. I mean, think about trying to do perpetuals on this market here. Look, I mean, if you, let's say you were, you're taking out a long position and then you suddenly got sold down. I'm just trying to think what day it is. You get sold down and you get wrecked, and then you take someone takes a long position and then you get wrecked. I mean, it's just pretty gruesome stuff. And now we're pretty much rallied. So we have been getting low resistance at 82,000. And we are currently at 81,227. But look at the volatility, pretty insane over the sort of Sunday, Monday period, isn't it? That Sunday, Monday period, pretty gruesome. Let's go to the daily and see where the action's at. We're going to bypass the 4-hourly one, but we are moving up. So moving up quite nicely. We are getting resistance at the 200 moving average for the Bitcoin. That's currently sitting at $82,021. So we're bumping up against that. Bang, bang, bang. we want to break through that, and I'm feeling good about it this week. If we don't break through it this week, then what news could you possibly want? And the reason why I say that is because we've got Stretch ATM starting to print money from debt markets and buying Bitcoin, and we've got the Clarity Act this week, and we just had the Fed. I mean, come on, it's going to be pretty cool. Now, CPI might be a bit of a challenge, but apart from that, I think we're heading in the right direction there. So, as Frank White would say, pulse bang bang, pulse gang. Yeah. So let's see how we get on this week. We've also got, interestingly enough, the 50 moving average, that yellow line, moving up. And of course, you know what happens when it crosses the orange line. Golden cross, baby. Golden cross. And we've been in this death cross since 16th November after that liquidation event back on the 10th of October, right? Remember that? So bring it on. Bring it on. Here we go. All right, so that is the Bitcoin and some of the drivers. Let's look at that. Well, we had the number one digital asset treasury, Michael Saylor's strategy, formerly known as MicroStrategy, has acquired 535 Bitcoin over the last week for $43 million. So very modest by previous comparisons. But remember, the previous week there was no Bitcoin bought, and before that was the bullish April month, right, where we had the Stretch ATM printing and buying tens of thousands of Bitcoin, right? So it's very, very volatile in the acquisitions. Also, last week, remember, we had the drama about Michael Saylor potentially selling some Bitcoin under certain requirements, right, to be accretive. So he might sell 1,000 Bitcoin, but then he buys another 30,000 through the debt markets. So it's going to be a little bit like that. Australia has acquired 535 Bitcoin for $43 million at $80,000, 340 per Bitcoin, and has achieved a Bitcoin yield of 9.4% year to date. So that's basically just the additional amount of Bitcoin. That's kind of their income measure there. As of the 10th of May 2026, we hodl, that is strategy, hodls 818,869 Bitcoin, acquired for $61.86 billion at 75,540 per Bitcoin. Now, of course, BlackRock's ETF has been buying a lot of Bitcoin too, and along with Vanguard, and as part of the ETFs, and they've been really stepping up their buys of Bitcoin. And they flipped last week with Michael Saylor not buying anything. They flipped with their purchases, and they now have, at least last time I saw, last week, they had 822,000. So there's been this flippening back and forth between Strategy, the number one digital asset treasury, and BlackRock, number one ETF. So it's pretty crazy. Good old IBIT there. So some crazy stuff there. So that is pretty positive. But if you thought that was positive, obviously that is we have even better news because Stretch, their preferred stock, started ATM last night. Basically, ATM means at the market. Once Stretch gets to $100, in other words, people buy up the stocks on the market. They then, once it goes over $100, they can then issue more shares and raise capital. But that capital is raised from the debt markets, not from essentially from what's kind of from the debt markets, because people are wanting to get this preferred stock to get the yield, right, 11.5% yield, as opposed to going into debt markets. That's kind of the idea. And therefore, all the Bitcoin that's bought is then added to the common stock MSDR, and that's accretive, right, without any dilution or anything. So it's just an incremental addition of Bitcoin. It's just a game changer. And if Bitcoin price goes up, you get the volume and the price together. So it's pretty awesome like that. So that's the idea there. So pretty cool. It did take longer. Normally it's been taking about 10 days, I think, the last couple of months. It took about 18 days. But of course, we had the quarterly results, and we had the drama about the Bitcoin, so-called Bitcoin selling stuff, all that sort of stuff in there as well. And but it does look like we've got at least 3 more days of ramping up the ATM printer. I think they raised something like about 30, maybe 35 to 40 million last night, and they ended up buying about 80% of that. Ended up buying a Bitcoin, and I think they bought about 450 Bitcoin, something like that, in the ballpark. Can't remember exact top of my head, but something like that they bought. So that's kind of cool with the old Bitcoin acquisitions there. Let me just quickly go check, see if I can get the actual real one. So let's go to the Stretch tracker there, and let's see what we'll have the best one. Let's go Bitcoin for corporations and see what that came up with there. So 35 million was the ATM proceeds last night, and that's 431 Bitcoin. There we go. That's estimated at 80% capture. So exciting, right? Exciting. Woohoo! So $35 million at the market proceeds. That's pretty amazing. That's probably going to be pretty close to accurate. 431 Bitcoin already bought last night. But the next 3 days, we could see that ramp up ginormously into instead of 35 million, we ended up capturing, it goes into the $1 billion days. So we could have $1 billion days in the next couple of days. And we got the Clarity Act ramping up on Thursday. See how all this goes together? Insane, right? Insane in the membrane. Just think about that. We could have $1 billion buy days of Bitcoin this week. Yeah. Got to get excited, guys. Got to get excited. It could be pretty genius this week. I mean, if Bitcoin doesn't really start to break out over the 82K, I don't know what's going to happen. You see the little smile on my face. I can't hold it back because it's just too intense. So pretty cool stuff them there. Even Michael Saylor put out there 2 cents of volatility, $437 million liquidity, closed at par, another $100. In other words, it's going to open up tonight, most likely in the ATM, and we could see it really ramp up. If we got bought 431 Bitcoin last night, what are we going to do tomorrow? And then, of course, the last 2 days we saw, the last 2 days of the previous month were just $1 billion days. So you're talking about a massive amount of Bitcoin, tens of thousands of Bitcoin being bought up. So where's all the Bitcoin coming from? Well, it's only individuals that are willing to sell, but even that's drying up a little bit, right? So we're seeing that happen and on exchanges too. So that's pretty cool. What else are we going to say about that? He's got a couple of videos out here talking about deep dives. We've got in the third layer projects, right? The third layer projects. So we've got APYX power user of the day. Over the past 24 hours, deployed $11 million into APYX by using $17 million worth of Bitcoin as collateral to participate in sophisticated on-chain strategies. Rather than minting APX USD and with USDC, this user deposited wrapped Bitcoin. So we've got lots of people playing on third layer protocols, and it's only taken off there. So very cool. So I hope you guys enjoyed that. So let's look at the forward picture. We've been using the probably the best model of forward pricing, the long-term power law. And of course, we would need a pretty strong standard deviation of something like 3 to break this down. And that means it's capturing essentially most of the data points what we would expect. We have got, let me just make sure I'm in the right zone here. About the 11th there. Yeah. So we got, obviously the price between, 81, 200, 81, 500, but we got the midpoint at 160 at the moment. That's a green line. And so, talking about 160 by the end of the year, we're talking about 203,000. So it's pretty reasonable. You got people like Tom Lee in the next year talking about 250K. I think that's reasonable, even though he's a perma bull. I think that's pretty reasonable. And a lot of people, I think, in that zone, a lot of people, Kathy Woods and other people as well. So I'm feeling pretty comfortable about that. So 200, but we got the upside to 700K, so 695K. And I'm expecting one of these, right? I think we've had one of these little bear rallies in here, and that's where we got to the 126. But I think we're going to get these banana moves, right? The banana move is coming ahead of us, and we've got everything lining up for it. We're manufacturing the U.S. economy. We've got the interest rates maybe likely to cut. We've got the right sort of leader there coming in with Warsh. All things considered, we've got massive money printing ramping up. Everything is heading in the right direction. We've got supply expansion, but at the same time, we're going to have a lot of tax refunds and everything else. I think we're setting up real nice for a huge run. We've got the AI boom cutting out a lot of costs, giving a good stock market correlation, which I think is at about 90% at the moment. So, it's very hard to see what's going to take us down. Now, I think we will have pullbacks on the way up, but where's the pullback? How high are we by the time we have that? And we're still expecting, the PE ratios on a lot of AI companies are still very reasonable, with potentially a couple of years to go, and that benefit, which is over the golden age of America for Trump, right? So feeling very confident in this zone that we're in right now. So that's kind of where we are there. So kind of cool. Bring it on. Now let's jump over to Ethereum. Ethereum at the moment, obviously very choppy, like Bitcoin, even weaker though, right? Even weaker. So we had some even weaker stuff. We came all the way down to 2,295. But let's have a look at the daily and see how we're going there. The daily, obviously, we're looking weaker than we are in Bitcoin, but I do think that once Ethereum goes, it's going to be truly ballistic, and we're already seeing big moves like Ondo and tokenization, stablecoin minting as well. We got the Clarity Act on Thursday, getting the mark up there. So we will hopefully look to proceed further with getting that towards the president's desk by the 4th of July, I should say. So we're at the bottom of the range right now, so 2,311, and we're going to talk about Bitmine immersion. Digital Asset Treasury came out with their weekly update as well, and they've softened their strategy, probably because of the ATM and MNAV. So we're going to talk about that in a minute. But we got the 50-day moving average, the yellow line, at 2,276. So we've been holding that, right? We've been bouncing off that, as you can see, all the way through here, bouncing off that. We got the 200-day moving average at 2,581. So we've got a bit of work to do to get there. We've been facing a lot of resistance around the 2,400 mark, $2,025 mark. And so we've got to bust through that and head towards this $2,583 mark. That's pretty much it. I think we're going to get a market maker candle out of this, right? So I think we're going to get a market maker candle out of that. So, I don't know, it might look something like, we'll probably get a breakout there somewhere. Let's have a look. Let's draw some candles. But maybe we'll get some big move out of here with a market maker, maybe one of these green candles like this here, and up and away. And this week is very conducive to that with Bitcoin and with the Clarity X, so keep a lookout for all that. I think it's looking pretty good. All right, so that is the daily. Let's jump over to the big news, the catalyst driving this. Obviously, digital asset treasuries, along with ETFs and whale buying, are really been pushing the market higher, and it's just warming up, right? Just warming up. We've got all the institutions starting to position, buying shares of these companies, starting to tokenize their own assets, starting to commit, and it's just starting to really cascade. Really is exciting. So Bitmine put their latest release out, and their valuation gone up to 13.1 billion in total crypto plus moonshots. Moonshots is a little bit misleading. It's all about, you can make 100x out of this sort of investment, but actually it's all pieces of a puzzle that Tom Lee's putting together to bring finance over to Ethereum. All right, so he's been going to be a major leader in that space, and that's really what it's about there, in my view. So they have now got 5,206,790 ETH. That's how much is sitting in Bitmine immersion. It is an absolute beast and heading up very nicely. Now, remember, they're targeting about 6,032,000, somewhere like that. So still got about 830,000 ETH to buy, and they should get that by the end of the year. They are definitely slowing down. Remember, the last 3 weeks we've had 101,000 ETH bought each week, and that was basically a sign that the bottom was in. But I do think they've been struggling with the MNAV, that's the net asset value, market net asset value, and it has been under 1. So you don't really want to raise capital less than 1 because you are diluting existing shareholders by issuing new common stock, that is BMNR stock, and using that to buy more Ethereum. So on the volume, it's a hit. On the price, obviously the price goes up, everyone's still winning, but the volume definitely gets diluted there. So they have done that. The market really liked it last night, and the market rallied, and now the MNAV's over 1. Last time I checked, we might have another check, but I'm pretty sure it went back over 1. Now, the MNAV can go above 1 in the intraday trade, but we're just talking about the daily trade, right? But intraday, it can go over 1, and therefore, the ATM machine, maybe a broker or whatever, however they're running it, can turn it on, right, just for a few hours or whatever. But they sell down the share, add more shares, pushes the price down, right? So that's been a big complaint by some people, right? Now, remember, the official policy is to not be dilutive to MNAV, the market net asset value. And net asset value is basically the Ethereum that they hold and cash and stuff like that. So, which is what we're going through now. They also have 201 Bitcoin, because they used to be a Bitcoin miner. 200 million stake in Mr. Beast Industries. This is the big retail adoption for Ethereum. So if you've been wondering, are we ever going to get to really proper mass adoption? Well, yeah, I think it's going to happen through Mr. Beast, right? He is the biggest influence in the world. 1 in 3 people online in the world watch his videos every month. So this is kind of a no-brainer. And he particularly has targeted the Z and Alpha generations, right? And a bit of millennials as well. So a pretty unique targeting there. $88 million in 8Co Holdings, Orbs. Now, Orbs, of course, is holding a lot of investments in a lot of other top opportunities like OpenAI, WorldCoin, things like that. So digital ID, AI, all that sort of stuff. So that is the link there. So, he's obviously trying to combine these pieces of the puzzles together to get that mass adoption, not only for institutions coming over using the payment rails, but also retail mass adoption coming as well. So we got the big players coming basically, right? And they're spending a lot of time on that. They also have more cash of 775 million. They had 700 million the week before, so they've been raising capital regardless. So hopefully it's intraday MNAV, right? Hopefully. And they also bought that Ethereum. They bought another 20, I think it was 20,000 Ethereum this week. So, they've raised more than that, more than 75 million, maybe about 120, 30 million or something. That is a little bit dramatic. But look, I think not only do they want to buy more ETH before the end of the year at a slower pace, but they also, because they're going to hit their 5%, right? That's 6 million. So still got about 800,000 ETH to buy. But the fact that they want to, they've probably got other moonshot / strategic acquisitions they may make this year as well. And that's kind of where Tom Lee was saying, hey, look, we're going to slow down our purchases, but we're going to focus on other things, right? A bit of talking out both sides of the mouth, or so, something like that. So that's kind of pretty bullish. Tom Lee saying that crypto spring has commenced, and we wanted to highlight the importance of owning ETH as a source of diversification and the likely drivers of this coming crypto bull cycle. That's from Tom Lee. Among the key future drivers of Ethereum, the two primary are Wall Street's move to tokenization and agentic AI. Those things, of course, ramping up there. And most recently, we saw that highlighted with Ondo and tokenization. If ETH closes above $2,100 at the end of May 2026, this would be the third consecutive month gain. This has never been seen in crypto bear market. Thus, a close above 2,100 would validate crypto spring has arrived. And I think we're feeling pretty confident about that. He's got a chart here where he shows that, right? And you can see that we're up one, up two, up one, up two, and up three there, looking pretty good. So he's feeling pretty confident about we're out of winter and we're into spring. Since the start of 2026, Bitmine has acquired over 1 million ETH and has accumulated over 4.3% of all ETH supply. So think about that. That's pretty impressive, right? Pretty impressive stuff from Bitmine Immersion. Good to see you, Blair, in house. Hi all. Good to see you, Blair. Which is pretty amazing stuff, right? I think that's worthy of a clap. We intend to hold and stake our ETH holdings, and they've done recently rapidly increased their staking. They are now over 90% staked, probably heading to 100% very soon. It's taken about 2 months to get through the staking queue. Take note of that, but they're earning about 2.8 to 3%, depending on who's out there at the moment, around 2%, 2.8%. Which means our ETH holdings are essentially reduced available supply of ETH and remove 4.3% of ETH supply since June the 30th, 2025, which is basically when they started, right? Tom Lee took over the chairmanship of Bitmine Immersion. In other words, ETH supply has been deflationary since June 2025, which has been pretty awesome. So think about that. And it takes time for the market to catch up to that. That's why we're I think once we break 5K on Ethereum, it's going to go up very fast indeed. So if you think it's going to be difficult, I think actually 5K going to 12K is going to be pretty easy to do, pretty fast. And then, maybe up to 22K. Depends on whether we get the average relativity to Bitcoin at 12K, or we get, the 2021 high, close to 9% equivalence. And that would get us to 22K in the next sort of 18 to 24 months. That's kind of the view there of Tom Lee. All right, so we have decided to slow down our pace of weekly accumulation from 100,000 per week as we were originally targeted, reaching our alchemy of 5% in late 2026. Our previous pace of 100K weekly buyers would have us reach 5% by mid-July. So it does look like they did about 26,000 in the last week. So there we go. That's a big slowdown there. But like I say, I think they were struggling with the MNAV, and that's probably the market's probably liking that, and the MNAV should recover, and it did last night. So let me check that too. Alchemy of 5% reach. So that's like how fast they've done it. Look, I mean, you're talking about 11 months, guys, and they're already up to 4.3% or something. And look how fast that all happened. Just incredible, man. Incredible. All right, so really, really fast stuff, and that supply has certainly helped. It's helped dampen down the amount that Ethereum's gone down too. I mean, someone's come in over the last 11 months and bought, for 5.2 million ETH. Imagine if they hadn't come and done that. Imagine they haven't come. How far would have Ethereum have gone down? Holy crap! It makes you think about that. It's really, really, really freaky. As of May the 10th, 2026, Bitmine total staked ETH stands at 4.7 million, which is pretty amazing. $11 billion. Yes, please. Analyzed staking revenues are now 319 million. So this has become a cash cow. Bitmine owned staking operations generated a 7-day yield of 2.86%. They now jumped. Look how quickly they've jumped too. Look, the 19th of April they were at 3.3, and then they jumped to the week after they jumped to 3.7. Week after they jumped to 4.3. What a massive jump! And now they're at 4.7, and of course they've got another, approximately 500,000 ETH to stake as well. So bring it on. So that's pretty awesome. You can see the chart there. They are earning cash cow. Look at that, 319 mil. If they staked all the ETH they currently got, they go to 350. And if they buy the 6 million ETH, so another 800,000, and stake that, they'd be up to 408 million at the current prices. So if we're at, let's say we're at 2,000, you go 5x. That's 5 fours are $2 billion a year in revenue. OMG. So that puts them right up there with some of the banks, right? So. And they've got essentially no debt, and a very small crew running it. I think their crew will kind of get a bit bigger because they're going to build out the finance, finance level. But that's pretty awesome. ETH prices have been correlated with software stocks, and as shown in the chart below, both have been moving higher together in the past few months. The recovery in software in 2026 is evidenced by the crypto spring has commenced. So you can see that too, operating pretty well. ETH doing pretty well there. What else? According to data from Fundstrat, BMNR traded average daily volume of 16 million, and ranking 149. So, last week was actually quite low for them, right? I can't remember the number. It was 650 mil, something like that. So it's nice to see it back up, and they have had $1 billion 5-day averages as well. But they're still ranked pretty high, 149 out of 5,700 US listed stocks. So that's still performing pretty well there. And that's how they raise capital, right? If their MNAV goes over 1, they've got to have a good amount of volume going through, to issue stock and, raise more capital. But, that's coming to an end. So it could be pretty exciting there. So that is some of the big stuff there. Now we're just going to go to BMNR, and I'm going to try to find the tracker here. And let's see what the MNAV came in the last one. Yeah, so 3 hours ago, it's sort of been aftermarket. MNAV has gone back to 1, so that's positive. So the market liked that. They liked that announcement. And I think we were, at 97 or something, 0.97. So it's nice to see that go, which is pretty cool. All right, so positive stuff happening there, guys. Very, very cool. Now, why do we look at all that, right? Obviously, Bitcoin and ETH, where most of the money comes in to crypto, right? It's where most of the money comes into crypto. And so and you should have some of it in your bag, arguably. I mean, it's up to you where you put your crypto, but that is kind of the future there, looking pretty cool as well. Now, let me know in the chat there if you like my new intro. Did you like my new intro? I don't know. Let me know. I think it's kind of cool. So we've changed the intros around. It's time for a bit of a freshening up. I might make a few little changes to it more, but welcome to the Fortress. What's that? Fortress of Solitude. That's the one. Almost trying to get a stutter there. Almost Fortress of Solitude. There we go. All right. So Pulsechain, guys. We're up to Pulsechain. Pulsechain, of course, a full system state fork of Ethereum, so it's got the robustness of that blockchain, and its upgrades are free, guys. Who likes free ice creams? Well, we get free upgrades, and we can take what we want, and it's pretty cool. Pretty cool, right? Pulsechain, of course, been around for over 1,090 days. In fact, the day at the moment is 1,095. Launched 3 days after the fork, which was the 30th of May, 2023. For the launch day, and here we are 1,095 days later. We're in the hunt for the bottom, on the old Pulsechain, and we got the price. This is rounded, of course, at 508, and Hex at the moment is there's PHEX Hex on Pulsechain sitting at 1,300 of a penny. So Pulse is down 2.5%. PHEX is down 30%. We've had ProveX at the moment sitting at 4059, down 1.2% right now. Pulsex, the number one DEX on Pulsechain, 506, rounded. We're down 3% there. And Inc, which was actually doing well yesterday, was the only standout yesterday, is actually down today as well. 35 cents is down 3.8%. So it's gone from being the biggest winner to the biggest loser today. We just say that with a bit of jest and a bit of fun, but that is the play there. I don't have any comedy stuff here, but maybe this is close. I don't know. Okay. That's the wrong one. That's the wrong one. That's the wrong one. Maybe it's more like this. Yeah, more like that. More like that. All right, jokes aside, let's move on. Those are Richard calls. Let's jump over to the validators. How many validators we got? We had a big jump yesterday. Rack and Michelle for his mafia staked another 1,000 validators. So he's got 2,000 validators now, I guess, buying up all the mafia, coin mafia tokens. So it's sitting at 50,912. So that's ticking away there. Let's go over to what else? What else are we going to? The gas prices. Gas prices on Pulsechain. We're looking pretty cheap today. 750,000 beats, so nice and cheap. Sitting at 0.0086, so 86 hundredth of a penny. 113 pulse based on numbers here. So it's not too bad. And finally, the bridge. Let's go to the bridge right now. The bridge. We've been hit really hard since about the 26th of April, haven't we? With the bridge. Hasn't been our friend. The bridge is friendly, but people sending their money over, that hasn't been so friendly. What's going on here? We're trying to get the bridge values here. I have to refresh again. Man, I've had some troubles with software today. I don't know what's going on, but welcome to the matrix. Maybe I've taken the pill and I'm free. I'm being freed. I don't know. It's not loading, guys. What the heck? Loading. It's not Pulsechain stats fault. I'm sure it's probably, I don't know, the internet or something. Who knows? Anyway, well, we haven't got the bridge values there. Let's come back to that later on. Let's have a look at the total values at the moment. So I am pleased to report, everybody, that we have volumes much higher today. We are on a weekday, but we've got 4 million, which is better than I've seen for a while now. So $4 million. Typically, we're down 3 mil maybe, 2.5 mil during the weekend. So it's much better. 4 mil, 388,000 transactions at the moment. So it's a little bit of a lift as well. Now we've got this P-Mint that got launched 13 days ago. That's still doing pretty well. That's up 72% today. We got Amiga DAO, which obviously we had an interview with the Cabal King the other day, 2 days ago, I think it was. And that was fantastic. What a great job he's done with that project. And that's up 20% today. So looking pretty good there. Is the old token there? What's that? Yeah, almost up at 4,000. So 000399. It's almost up at 0004, and that's up 20%. So that's pretty good. Liquidity at 49K, market cap 397, and volume today 8,600. And there's more to come in the ecosystem, as I understand it. So keep a lookout for that. Cabal King, they're on the move. But the website is gorgeous. I mean, if you haven't checked out the website, they've done a great job, not only with the website, but also the tokenomics has been well thought out. Now, of course, it's a speculative DeFi play, but it's ticking along pretty nicely. Let's look at the pulse ratio there. And look at that chart go up and away there. It's a 4 hour chart. Let's go to the daily, though. That's the daily chart. That's pulse. So it's gone up pretty nicely at 52 pulse there per Amiga there. And the volumes there picked up. So the volumes are really key here, right? Because it's got a 5% tax. And you can see the volumes there. We're doing about 3,500 and have jumped up to about 7,500 to 8,500. So we've had quite a few good days there. That's been pretty good. So obviously, if you get a doubling in the volume, you essentially get a double in the payout, right? It's kind of the idea. So it's ticking away there on the old Amiga, and more in the ecosystem there coming from the Cabal King. And we've kind of watched this evolution over time as well. Definitely, projects seem to be getting pretty clever there. So Amiga DAO on the move. You can check out that interview the other day, 2 days ago, full interview on that platform. Pretty cool. Scada there from the Supply Team, another niche DeFi player, up 8.5%. It's been up at the top leaderboard. It's been down after prod taking, up again. It's had a little bit of a ride, but it seems to be chilling out right now. Since the last couple of days, even though it's been up and down, as you can see, down, up. It's kind of like that. It seems to be in a range at the moment, sitting at just under 0.3 of a penny right now. Pulse ratio is king, though. Let's have a look at that. So that's still looking pretty nice, isn't it? Pretty nice shape. It has definitely come down. Seemed to peak out at 646. Is down at 384. So that's quite a lot in the ratio. But let's see where that lows goes from here on the old weekly. That's the weekly candles there. And I took it away. Is that going to be? I know almost. It's almost a cup of handle, but it's the top of the cup's a bit high, isn't it? Let us know, you TA gurus out there. But that's almost a beautiful cup and handle. But I don't know, this looks a little bit high, a little extended. Maybe it still applies, and I have to go back and double check the cup and handle charts, but that's kind of looking like one. Let's see where that goes on the old SCADA. Liberty right now is 6.9% on the increase today at number 4. State ETH is up 4.5% there, or 4.25%. Liquid Loans making itself known, our third biggest sack price project, up 3.4%. Still on the bottom though. Another forever down chart. That's the jokes in crypto, isn't it? The forever down charts. And the pulse ratio there just sitting on the bottom of the current range, which is only just above the other range that was in. So sitting at, was it 0.02 pulse per loan token there. A very small amount of liquidity. Ho-hum, they say. Still performing its utility as a stablecoin backed by Pulse. We got PTC the Greys, a couple of their peers in here with the UFO as well, up about 3%, 2-3% on those. SolidX up 1%. Teddy Bear up a little bit, just over 0.5%. Hex pair there in the mix as well. Teddy Bear essentially number 11 and 13, up about a third. Bonnie, Richard's first car, apparently that's been out for over a year. That's up a 30%. Let's have a quick little nosy at that, just out of humility. The chart's looking pretty good there, is it? Let's look at the weekly. It's been around for a long time, so looking pretty good there. I don't know the safety of this token. Just take note of that, but it's been around for a long time. I can't remember who launched it, etc. 1 year, 2 months. Seems to have no issue on the quick intel. But once again, that looks like it's pretty controlled. Pretty controlled supply. What else? That is pretty much it. Bonnie. And then a few little green candles there for Teddy Bear. So we've only got 17 that are in the green today, which is a bit of a shame given how bullish Bitcoin and ETH are looking at the moment. That we can only get a little bit of move here. Everything else is kind of in the red in US dollar terms. Doesn't mean necessarily. What was Pulse? What did we say Pulse was? I can't remember now. There's the bridge values coming up. There we go. 54.45 mil. So it looks like we're still up a little bit in the last couple of days. But we were up at 59 mil, came all the way down to 53. So we're actually coming up off the bottom now. So I think we've had 2 good days in the office for the old bridge. We're up a third of a percent almost on the 7-day change. So at least that's something, right? That's it, something there. Keep a lookout for that. All right. Let me quickly go back to the Pulsechain stats because Pulse is down 0.25%. So I guess anything that's better than 0.25% is doing better, which it's a few 24 coins, so about 1 in 4 on this particular top 100 are doing better, and that's from Source Aluminium. The worst performers, let's have a look at that. Wartime, been around for 16 days, it's down 43%. World's Greatest PDI Printer from OG Webshift, down 24%. Pikachu, is that Somi's token? Oh no, that's down 12.5% right now. Finvesta is down almost 8.7% at $1.20. And what else there? We've got Reserve Tay in the mix there as well. So that's kind of the ones that are down today. Peacock sitting at 1.1 cent right now, waiting for its wallet upgrade and the yield product, which is probably why we're going to talk about Liberty Swap now. What do you guys reckon? I reckon that's a good idea. All right, so they've been busy. Obviously, they're trying to do a lot of frontier stuff. They really are kicking goals and taking names, is it? Kicking goals, or something like that. But they've been commenting on a lot of different stuff around the privacy and trading out in the markets. So they've been doing a lot of that sort of stuff. They've been also teasing about Pump Tires season. The ticker is so they've also been teasing about that. I still think that you're going to have staking coming up with possible Pump Tire airdrops. That's kind of. Well, I think they might be coming there. It's my speculation based on their comments last year, of course. But let's see. They did respond to my comment sort of in that kind. Now, for some reason, they got this thing about Italy, so I'm not quite sure the link there. I may have missed something, but Peacock is on track to become Italy's next cultural symbol there. Is that Peacock? Is that the symbol of Italy? I don't know. Pulsechain will thrive. I'll stand by Pulsechain no matter what. Full send, they say, full send. What else we got going here? Keystone Wallet. Apparently, we're getting some sort of support there from Keystone Wallet. They got 63,000 followers, so that'd be pretty cool. They're going to get their hardware, I think, aren't they? The hardware. Hey, Keystone, our Pulsechain community has strong demand for hardware in general, so they're going to get some Pulsechain branded hardware. They're going to hand it out to their team as well, and maybe selling it. I don't know. We'll keep a lookout for that. Let's jump through some of this. Deep integration of Liberty Swap, Liberty Dex, and Liberty Shield. These are the products from Liberty Swap, of course, is into the ZKX wallet, which is, if you haven't downloaded that, definitely check it out, download it, play around with it. But there's a major upgrade coming, the first upgrade since they launched it this week. We will offer a complete trading privacy suite with stability, MEV protection, high speed, and fewer opportunities for user error with some well-designed Pulsechain branded hardware. So it comes back to the hardware in the mix where you can be ready for the upcoming Pulsechain bull market. Kind of cool, looking good. So it's kind of neat. Protecting users, they say. Improving our business. Nice there. Pending store review. However, it should be quick. So it looks like they've got a store coming. Plenty of comments from them in the chat there too. So that is exciting, guys. That's exciting. What else we got going? That's pretty much it from them. Now, talking about wallets, it is wallet season on Pulsechain. If you guys hadn't realized, it is. I think that's fantastic. I mean, we really we got Internet Money. Internet Money, obviously the leader on Pulsechain. 195 plus countries, 40 chains. You can't argue with that. Integrated to some degree, Bitcoin and things like that. That is really impressive. Multi-chain, and it has many of the features of Ravi Wallet and things like that. So it's definitely a juggernaut on Pulsechain. I put it right up there with Liberty Swap. Those two kind of being the big projects on Pulsechain. But we need more wallets, different user experiences, things like that. You always need a good number, at least, maybe 3 or 4 at minimum, And it looks like we're getting it, guys. We're getting it. So there are a number of wallets out there that give us quasi support, but we're wanting dedicated wallets that, that actually have all the stuff on Pulsechain, the US prices and everything else that we want to have, token, finders and things like that, all that stuff. So it's pretty cool. Well, we've got, not only we've got Liberty Swap's wallet, which you haven't downloaded, you should download, test it out. You can use a DGM wallet, your own, set up all that safety stuff if you want to test it out first. And they've got a big update coming this week, I believe. I think it's this week, so keep a lookout for that. Alex McFurter is also obviously a big OG in the space. Has famed for his Hedron and Acosa, one of the 2 big protocols that were built on top of Hex during the bear market, and was really great. I mean, everyone enjoyed that a lot. He has got a wallet called Cappy. So Cappy is up. So he said early website is up, cappy.cash. Cappy X account with the at Cappy wallet there, so people can follow that too. So I'll give that a follow. That's pretty cool, right? So I'll put that post in the chat there. And he is doing basically a fork of Rabby. He has to set up a lot of the data API stuff in the background. That's kind of probably even the harder work, but that is pretty cool, right? And that is from Alex McFurter. Cappy wallet. So I don't know when he'll have this out, but it's something that's probably progressing in this year. So it's certainly something to keep a lookout for there as well. And a lot of people like that simple, Rabby wallet UI stuff that's happening now. So you can follow that journey along there. We love hearts. All right, so we just get a heart out here, right here. Right, we get a heart out. Alex McFurter there. Just wanted to thank you guys for all the support. This is just the tip of the iceberg. There are lots of things I plan to do as short as possible. Couldn't do it without you guys. I'll be splitting updates between my personal and Cappy accounts. I've been asked many times how people can help. I put some info on the site for now. Anyway, it's less talking, more doing. Roadmap on the site is accurate as of right now, but I'm moving fast. I want this wallet to exist so I can enjoy it too. And of course, whenever you take a wallet on, that's a pretty big deal. Look at the website. Hopefully we have no issues getting it. Oh, that's pretty nice. Nice job there, Alex. And he says, hi, I'm Cappy there. It's got a cute little animal. I'm trying to remember what these are. Some South American rodent. Is that the one? Is this? And the friendly wallet for Pulsechain, open source Pulsechain wallet with real transaction simulation, native DeFi tools and infrastructure. We run ourselves. Feel free. There we go. Install Cappy. So we've got some sort of test, is he? I don't know. So there we go. That's ticking away there. All pro. There's a pro site for $5. Cappy Barras. Oh yeah, that's right. The little animals there. It's 2 more weeks away from launching. Oh, that's pretty quicker than you think, isn't it? I thought it might be a few months away, but apparently 2 more weeks. I'm using it personally already, etc. So check all that stuff out there. That's all on the play. Has it got a donation wallet? I think, yeah, it might be a donation wallet here. You can copy as well. I never wanted to build a wallet, so I don't know. Is that 2 more weeks? 2 more weeks is a community meme of software. Okay, so it might be a bit further away than that. I forgot about the quotes in there. The took me off guard there. I never wanted to build a wallet. That's the story about that. But here he is. Cappy is that fix. I'm going to keep it there. So keep a look out there. He's got the why, the features, the pricing. That's just for the pro version. You can see the differences there. All wallet features, Pulsechain Ethereum, native swaps, Viper tiers, bridge to from Ethereum, batch send, open source, self-hostable. Pro will have one sub 3 addresses. Everything is free, 6% off swap and bridge fees. No batch send fee will subscribe. Private RPC pool, bundled subs, 3 addresses per $5. Pay anything. Wallet handles a swap. So there we go on that. And the roadmap, that was up to date, right? So he has completed the forked Rabby wallet, rebranded to Cappy after that little rodent, I guess. What else? It's got all this other stuff in there. I won't go through all that, but in progress at the moment is self-attestation. Wallet verifies its own build against the on-chain registry, Ethereum side pro contracts and cross-chain attestations. Plan coming up, but not yet started. Cappy attester extension, swaps via Liberty Swap, so that's kind of cool to see that. Stable DeFi app interface, Hex Inc., etc. LLM token and transaction assessment, renewable nudges and auto renew, Prevex fiat on ramp. That's great to see that. I'm really glad to see that. That's great. And mobile companion as well coming as of course as well. So there we go. We don't ask you to take our word for it. All right. So there we go. That is from them, and of course pretty cool from Alex. Let's quickly have a look at the account there. So that's in play. So not bad, not bad. Now what else is on the process there? Cappy wallet there. Let me repost that out. There we go. Bam. All right. All right. Kind of cool. So that brings us up into, we're 56 minutes in the hour. That brings us up to the Monster Thread, number 53, guys. The first edition for the second year of publication for the Monster Thread. Isn't that amazing? I think that's incredible. Really cool. All right, so let's get into it. Without further ado, Richard Hart's privacy call, Consensus Miami 2026, Crypto Banter's invitation to Richard Hart, Clarity Act markup this Thursday, 14th, and more monster moves. We like that. Check out Emmett and True Farm for the best farming options. And of course, they indeed have high APR yields. So if you're after that high DeFi income, definitely check out Emmett and True Farm. Richard's privacy call is the first news item. Privacy is a human right, says Richard, and your forefathers died for the right for you to have privacy. They did indeed. They did indeed. And we got Lady Liberty in house. Lady Liberty updates. A Liberty Swap finished transaction simulation and a firewall system for the Pulsechain EVMs and Railgun on ZKX wallet. So if you haven't downloaded that, you should definitely try. Let's have a look there. That's the link there to ZKX wallet. We put Cabby wallet in, so we've got to do Liberty wallet as well, don't we? Liberty Swap wallets. I said it's wallet season, guys. It's wallet season on Pulsechain, which is perfect because we're trying to find the bottom on Pulsechain right now, and we want more users, not abusers. We don't want abusers. We want more users in the house. So definitely check that out. There we go. That's the right one. Liberty Swap wallets, ZKX wallet. You can download that and start playing today. And they got a first big upgrade since the launch coming up in this week, I believe. This week. All right, so they've been doing that, and kind of cool. Also sends props to so Liberty Swap is giving shout out to other teams, all developers working over the years to provide free infrastructure to improve Pulsechain, with mentions of Autoscan, PLS Folio, Patius. So PLS Portfolio, of course, doing portfolio management, so you can find out all your portfolio values for your wallets. Patius, DEX aggregator, right? Number one DEX aggregator, facing competition though from Switch and others. Liberty as well. Internet Money, number one wallet there on Pulsechain, and 9mm Pro, also second biggest DEX on Pulsechain, right? So took it away there. Crypto Banter's invitation. Now, Bitcoin Crypto Banter, obviously huge following there. Blockcast reports, and they've got 56,000 followers. That Crypto Moran, who's got 970,000 followers, from Crypto Banter, which has 440,000 followers. So this is all around Pulsechain, guys. So the brand's getting out there, guys. The brand's getting out there. Tagged Richard Hart with an interview invitation. So it's pretty good press, pretty good PR there. So let's have a quickly look at the Blockcast one. And Rand Newer of Crypto Banter proposes interview with Pulsechain founder Richard Hart amid discussions on developing Synergy's infrastructure work there. Rand Newer publicly invited Pulsechain founder Richard Hart for an interview, and of course got huge engagement out of that. independent developer. Of course, Alex, we talked about that, sharing his Cappy wallet, so that's pretty cool too. 14,000 views on that. Not bad, not bad. It's getting there. Now, the source is Crypto Ran himself. He's at 116,000 views on that, guys. So that's some free press there, right there. That's some free press. I think we can appreciate that. That is very cool indeed. Lotus says there can only be one, which is the undisputable GOAT. The rest don't even scratch the surface of what it truly means to lead and be a true benevolent founder of real DeFi. So there's clowns, everybody, and Richard there. Nice one there. So that's pretty cool. Manifest your dreams. We love that. Brother KG, obviously the founder of Internet Money Wallet, sends an inspirational message to anybody interested in becoming an entrepreneur after playing as a business consultant for a local high school program for seniors. Isn't that kind of cool? Kind of cool. It reminds me, it's very 80s, reminds me of 80s at high school. You know? That's kind of cool. The best decade ever. And that is KG. That is KG there as well. Nice, not bad. So check that out as well. Consensus Miami, and I'm so glad that we had several people at Consensus Miami 2026, but it's really good to see Pulsekins and Hexkins representing at these big conferences, which is kind of neat. Zero Trust, which is part of the Peacock Trifecta and Open Info Service, Gabriel there, they were on the ground representing the Zero Trust and Pulsechain family at Consensus 2026 in Miami. In Miami there. So pretty cool. Look at some of these images. Isn't that great? Woo-hoo-hoo! Zero Trust representing. You gotta love that. Look at that. Some cool people there. Look at that. Zero Trust got their free Pulsechain promo iPads as well. See. They're getting around. There's a real momentum happening with these Pulsechain iPads. Have you noticed over the last few months? It really is ramping up there, and it's just becoming a way of life now. A way of life. What is there, like 18 different distribution hubs now in the United States and 6 in Europe? It really is ramping up now, and we're seeing more of these iPads showing up all over the place, Italy and random places. It's pretty crazy there. So Consensus there, that is one of the meetings there. Nice, pretty cool. And there's a lovely photo there with a new recipient, maybe a new Pulsechain in the house there. So that's pretty cool. Change, got a lot of love there. BTC and ETH there. Maybe we should have scribbled the old PLS, but we got PLS and Hex down on the borders there. Look at that. It's pretty cool. So some great little photos there from Zero Trust. So congratulations to those guys. Represent. No more 0 days. Neil for crypto. Of course, he is doing an amazing job with True Farm. And of course, a very well-respected member of the Pulsechain community. Showcase True Farm's daily revenue flywheel. These guys are leading the frontier on Pulsechain with the idea of kind of what I call managed funds. It's kind of like managed funds idea, which is great. And they also kind of have what I call, and I'm inverted quotes here, institutional buying, right? They're kind of the closest thing we have to something like that, in my view. Obviously, we've got validated projects doing that and things like that, and we've got businesses operating like Liberty Swap. But actually, managed fund type approach is kind of where these guys are heading, and they've been doing a pretty amazing job with it, as well as launching DeFi products as well with True Farm. So it's pretty neat. So Neil for T-Share showcased True Farm's daily revenue flywheel. LP providers are earning yield in True Farm tokens, which can be staked to earn EDI. So that single-side staking there has been a revolutionary thing with Emmet Farm and True Farm. Backed by steady volume from True2X. And, of course, they got the SRE fund, right, going out and doing investments. It's pretty neat. And the True DeFi ecosystem continues to lead DeFi on Pulsechain. So, that's a developing story on Pulsechain. It's been very, very exciting. El Salvador premier Noob Decentral, and he's really come on the scene. He did the reality show. Remember the last Monster to Red, they had the reality show in El Salvador. Well, they did their first episode. They're now doing live streaming and got a live streaming show. So another Pulsechain influencer hitting the market and doing some really good live shows. And they did it. Their first episode was to summarize the El Salvador reality TV show and do lots of insights. If you want to check that out, it was a real hoot, as they say, real hoot. And that's got a Wild SJ in it, Crypto Truthlick in there, Shane Hart there, and Wooji, Mr. Joshua Wu, the comedian and influencer on Pulsechain there. And of course, I loved his video for Emmet Farm. Did you see that video? Got to go check that video out for Emmet Farm. It was hilarious. All right, so new eyes on Pulsechain. Annabelle. So we've got more big influencers coming into the place, guys. So Annabelle, 35,000 followers, continues to explore the ecosystem, dropping another article about Pulsechain, titled Pulsechain, where it stands now and what comes next. So you can go check that out. That's from Annabelle. It's got a picture there. There she is. And it's got a nice little write-up there. So it's kind of cool seeing that. Isn't that neat? That's really cool. So more people seeing the old Pulsechain. So big shout out to Annabelle there. Yeah, nice stuff. All right, so we got Cinco de Mayo. This is some Mexican celebration, I think, cultural Mexican thing. I think people in America knows what that is. It's kind of foreign to us down under, because we don't have a lot of that kind of, Spanish and culture. I mean, it's a few people around, but you don't really have grow up on that sort of stuff. Cinco de Mayo, Fast Abdul went live with crypto Triple Dad, I should say, aka Triple Dad, and special guest Fat Sammy. Fat Sammy's been really doing some amazing content on Pulsechain. You should definitely check that out if you want to, find out about Pulse and Hex and Pulse Bitcoin. We're really crushing it out there. So big shout out to Fat Sammy there for an epic Cinco de Mayo stream. So go check that out. They'll have all those guys on there. In fact, let's have a quick nosy, shall we? Since we're having a nosy right now, so we might as well keep going. And they got their show on. Look at their little. I better turn that off. We got pinged already with that, just that little sound. But here are the Joes, Triple Dad, Fast Abdul, and Fat Sammy. So check that out as well. Pretty cool. Now let's go back up here. We've got predictions on Pulsechain. Thy famous OG released a Polybet. So Polybet there is a brand new Telegram game that allows the same experience as Poly market predictions markets on Pulsechain. So it looks like we've got a prediction market in Telegram now. Telegram bot plus dashboard. We have kind of seen a bit of explosion with Telegram bots, which is kind of cool, and there's one of them. Now, obviously, always use a DGM wallet. Obviously, you can put your own wallet in, and use only certain funds and all the common sense things. But that is ticking away there, and they've got live markets now. One of the questions will BTC's monthly candle be a green or red? So you've got those there. Wartime there. So it's got all these different questions that you might be able to go do prediction markets on. So that is out there at the moment. So there we go. Pretty cool. What else we got going? We got Internet Money beats Rabby, KC Crypto. This is File Kyle. Now, we know we interviewed him the other day on his gaming site, right, on Pulsechain, including some really great games for Morbius. We had an interview with him, so you can check that out on this channel as well. He dropped enhancements for Internet Money Wallet, including a Rabby Wallet skin UI option. So I didn't know really that you could do that easy, but apparently he's been working on that. So that's pretty cool. Integrating token profile pages plus transaction simulation with gas and net impact with preview. So that was pretty neat. And I think Internet Money responded to him as well. So that's a little sneak peek. Yes, that's a little sneak peek there of his of the Rabby wallet front end. So that's kind of neat. And I think he did get a response there from Internet Money. Yeah, there's a reason they call you Kyle. Incredible work. Thank you for taking the time and being an awesome community member. Isn't that neat? So that is kind of cool there from Fire Kyle. And of course, we interviewed him the other day on his project Morbius, which is doing gaming on there as well. And you can check out Morbius there. We'll just quickly look at Morbius website. But that is the gaming site there. So kind of cool. And also got a bit of a social thing on there too. Number of games on there, of course. You can see all the games. Kind of cool. So that is from Kyle. So he's out there also helping Internet Money with the Rabby skin. MetaMask next, he says. I don't know. We'll keep lookout for that. Man of many talents, it seems. North Carolina hub, C3 Burke, Pulsechain marketing hub in North Carolina. So like I said, I think there's something like 18 hubs now in America distributing Pulsechain promotion tablets, which is pretty cool. So that's pretty cool from them. So I think we might have an image there. Yeah, look at that. He's got a whole delivery there. Now that gets dispatched from the Hive in California, doesn't it? And the Hive there, run by RS Griffin. They're the ones that are the non-profit running all these promo tabs around America and around the world, apparently. So it's kind of cool. Riley's Ride Out. I thought it was a really cool story. We got Hex Brada here. He's got his son. So posted a picture of his son Riley, a motorcycle stunt rider on his way to Chicago for a major ride out with thousands of other riders to spread the word about Hex, Pulse, ProveX, and PulseX and Richard Hart. So that's pretty cool. And we've got a picture of him as well. So there's his son there, proudly wearing his ProveX t-shirt. So big shout out there to Riley. And he's going to go spread the word amongst all the stunt riders, which I think is pretty cool. So I thought that was pretty neat. Very nice. I've got some nice stuff on there. All right, so we also got new wallet teaser, RH Max, of course. We just talked about it earlier, but RH Max, they're obviously a big Pulsechain influencer. Does Pulsechain might have a new wallet coming from Ecosahedron? Alex McFerder called Cappy Wallet. Well, it's not mine, is it? It is. We saw it before. Cappy is out on the website, so it is progressing very fast indeed. Tablets at Utah. Well, we've got tablets. We've got tablets in Carolina, North Carolina, which I have actually been to, by the way. I went to North Carolina way back in the, what year was it? About 2000, 2000 and, I don't know, 2000, maybe 2001, something like that. I can't remember, but that was something like that. Yeah, it's a pretty interesting place. What else? They've also got tablets now in Utah, so not one of these mini hubs. TJ, was it TJ Rovert? Is it TJ Rover? TJ Rover, and he offering Pulsechain promo tablets to the community in Salt Lake City, Utah. Big shout out there in Utah, and you can see he's got his box as well. So there we go. You've got him with the image there. Not bad, and very cool there from him. All right, so that is if you're near Salt Lake City or passing through, these tablets are for the community. I'm your local hub, so if you want to pick up some there, this is the man to go see. How about that? All right, we've also got Clarity Act markup. Now, this is a big deal, of course. This is coming up on Thursday the 14th, and we've got Eleanor Terrett here. She is a journalist and host of Crypto America, formerly Fox Business, and she has got 283,000 followers. She, referring to the Banking GOP Committee, doing a markup of the Clarity Act set for Thursday, the 14th of May. This is a big deal for crypto everywhere, and obviously Pulsechain will be a beneficiary as well, with a 74% chance to be signed into law in 2026, according to Polymarket. Now, that's flipped around a lot. I think we've gone down to as low as, 40%? We're now back up at 74%, so the market looking very good indeed. Let's have a look at the source. There is the markup there. Look at that. Boom. You can see it there. That's a clip from the, I guess, the official notice. Pretty cool there. Full committee executive session considering HR 3633, the Digital Asset Market Clarity Act of 2025. It is exciting, so keep a lookout for that. Chair Tom Scott announced the following schedule. That is cool. So it is proceeding. Very excited about that. Let's get it done, says BMNR. Absolutely. Explain the markup to me like I'm 12, says L. It's the next step in the process. Banking committee members will vote on the next on the bill text and any proposed amendments. So that's kind of the key takeaway there. If it passes, the bill will then be combined with the Senate AG committee's proportion to create one final version before heading to the full Senate for a floor vote. So there we go. That's a beautiful explanation there. A great explanation. All right, so great explanation covered on the live show today. All right. All right, there we go. All right, so that is kind of cool. Too cool for school. That's crazy. We got Checkmate Matrix, Hex Mad Dog, handed out Pulsechain tablets to everyone while attending Checkmate Matrix in Newcastle. So now we're in, I think we're in the UK now. Newcastle's in the UK, I'm pretty sure. And was it a big, Newcastle a big shipping town, or was it a big factory town? I can't remember. UK used to have all that sort of stuff. What a great event over the weekend. Checkmate the Matrix live in Newcastle. Free Pulsechain tabs handed out to everybody. A big shout out to Fast Abdul for being a special guest. I guess, is it Newcastle, America? I don't know. Fast Abdul there. I'm not sure he was in Newcastle. Thanks to Captain and our Wild SJ. So maybe this is in America, Newcastle. Maybe it's not into UK at all. How to learn Check the Matrix there. So there we go. Handing out the promo tabs. Must be Newcastle, America. Go hardcore. I wasn't sure that Fast Abdul's in the UK. There we go. We got all the people signing in there too. Not bad. All right, so let's move on here. Memories Forever. This is the final news story of the Monster Thread number 53. In a wonderful tribute, Jermaine Hexagon draws strength from memories of legendary fishing trips with his late brother Dustin. So this is from Jermaine, and so let's check this out as well. So today is the day I usually spend with my brother on the water. It was a celebration of his sobriety. Today is the first day we break tradition. I miss you so much, Dustin. And he's got some really wonderful pictures here with his brothers and I guess mates as well, with those big fish. Look at those things. My goodness, they've got quite a few beauties there. And so I guess a picture with his brother there. Very, very cool. Some special moments there for sure. So big shout out there to HP. and his brother there in remembrance. Nice tribute there as well. 2-1 there in the most there. And so it's Triple Dad. So some members there. So lovely way to finish the Monster Thread news. Now we also had some honourable mentions. We got Chevron 8net there celebrating 1 year on X. So congratulations to Chevron in the community there. We also had Red Squirrel, long time OG in the Pulsechain space, X space. He's got a number. I think he's got a couple of protocols he's been making as well. RNG flow for on Pulsechain, so he's working on some of his technical stuff there. RNG being a random number generator. And we got OJ Tangent in there as well, showcases every key token on Pulsechain. This is kind of cool. This is kind of cool as well. Some of you remember the spreadsheet I made for Tangang. And this one here, this site here looks to try and organize tokens by their main categories, I guess. So some Richard Hart calls at the top there. RH Memes is the one below. So you can see different things happening there for Tangent. So that's kind of cool. Crypto Hitman, one of our big KOLs on Pulsechain with the Surf token. Pulsechain getting its first monthly green candle in 10 months, which we're going to look at that, right? We're going to look at that. That is from Crypto Hitman. You can check that out as well. Kind of cool. So that's highlights there, but we do have some of the top DeFis on Pulsechain on the Monster Thread. And the first one kicking off is ZKP on Pulse and ProveX with ZKP. This is proving pretty exciting. DeFi projects launching with Richard Hart Cause as the beneficial token or the reward token. So ZKP has ProveX. Pulsera is brand new. So we talked about, there's been a bit of an uptick, not only in wallets, but an uptick in Telegram bots doing different services. So Pulsera is a brand new first block sniper bot. So that's pretty interesting. So I guess the first block that a token is launched, you may be able to get in on this. And maybe that applies to pump tires. I don't know. We have to check that, but I think it might be the case. True DeFi, True 2X farms, of course, we talked about there. They are really leading the way with the kind of the managed funds. 2X your Pulse is the idea with the Pulse miner, and they have a high yield farm. So we can talk about that too. Emmet Farm, of course, the biggest farm on Pulsechain. They have the biggest range of partnerships. Just about every major token's on there, and you're earning high APRs on those as well, including single-sided staking. Pretty exciting. Hero, of course, 501c. It's great to have a non-profit on Pulsechain that is supporting veterans and first responders as well. And they have their own tokens, Hero and Vets, and they have a quarterly DAO that they help distribute. Apparently, that's going to be stepped up big time in the near future. So keep a lookout for Hero. I think we're going to get some surprises from them. And they are also focused on wellness as well. So wellness is a big key element of where they are focusing there. Switch.win, obviously Brandon, one of our biggest influencers, founders, and of course developers on Pulsechain and of course on Ethereum and other chains. They've got their Switch project, and of course that's becoming one of our top DEX aggregators, as well as switching, not swapping, and of course limit orders as well. So doing pretty amazing there. Awesome stuff going on. Now, some of the pictures that we had for the Monster Thread obviously are looking pretty good with Annabelle there. And we've got the conference as well in Miami. We got the Good Remembrance there tribute. I love that fishing photo. And, of course, a young stunt man as well in the Pulsechain community. So a bit of everything going on, which is pretty cool. Loving to see that. Or it really is exciting to see that in the old Pulsechain community. It's kind of cool, so lots of cool things happening there. I'm going to probably do another live stream covering some of the Monster Thread DeFi because there's some really good projects in there this week. So we'll probably do some more coverage of that in another live stream. We're up to now in 18 minutes, so just taking note of time. But maybe we'll go through those probably tomorrow. So stay tuned for some of the top DeFis in the Monster Thread there. Pretty cool. Now I wanted to quickly go through. The Pulsechain price just to end the show and see where Pulsechain is at. Right? Get me out of there. Where is Pulsechain at? Where is this? Where is it? Where's it going? So let's find a good pair here. We're going to get the big one and check out where Pulsechain is heading right now. We're going to go full mode. And actually quickly, we're down 2.2% on 24 hours. So not a lot of fun there. But let's have a look where there's the weekly candles and where might we be going here. So we are kind of seeing some interesting structure right now. We got the RSI. RSI is a little delayed, obviously, but it's actually a pretty good indicator of the general, overbought, oversold. That's the kind of way I see it. It's a little bit lagged, but it's It kind of gives you a general idea of a trend, how we were trending at the moment. And of course, we're trending on the oversold side, right? So we're down there 30, kind of trending on the oversold there. This is on the weekly candles. Every time we've come down here, like previously, we hadn't spent much time down here at all. Back in March, we were there just for a blip, and then we took off, right? And back here, this is probably the more similar mark, right? September through to May. So May 24 to September, we were down here quite a bit. Not quite as low as where we are now, but certainly on the low end, on the oversold point. And then we had a big takeoff, right? Big takeoff there. So we're in this zone at the moment where we're kind of down the bottom here. So we're kind of looking for that next big takeoff. Is it going to be here? I don't know. It's going to be there. And maybe it will go through to October or something. Maybe it will go even further into the end of the year. But something we could see a big move on this RSI and get one of these big rallies off the bottom. Now that's the one thing. So one thing which kind of looks like we're setting up nicely for a rally off the bottom. But the other one is what sort of structure we had in the chart. Well, we've got some interesting changes. We've kind of typically been going, these are weekly candles. We've just been going, dramatically down, right? Dramatically down here all the way through September. I mean, that there was from March 24 through September 24. We had that rally with the RSI, we had that rally off there. Then we had sort of this cascading for pretty much down, right? We had a little bit of attempt here to hold up. That lasted a few weeks, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks maybe. And then we broke down, right? 6 weeks we broke down pretty violently. We had that nice recovery again. RSI, we kind of came back up. We had a bit of volatility in there, of course. And then we got up to August 25, and we'd come out of this SEC, right? So this orange box is the SEC, and Richard Hart defeated the SEC well and truly, gave him a good lashings of ginger beer or something, and that was a pretty good outcome. We had a nice rally out of that, right? That was pretty nice. Everyone enjoyed that. But then down we came, and we've been going down pretty quick, right? Not a lot of consolidation areas. I mean, we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe 5, 6 weeks here. Really hard to break 6 weeks on, even 6 weeks, but it's always got this downward bias to it, right? And then we come down pretty hard. Look at that, pretty hard all the way down. Tried to get a little bit of a recovery there, little recovery, another little recovery, but essentially coming down pretty hard through this zone with 1 or 2 periods where we might have had 5 or 6 weeks trying to hold on, but generally pretty volatile and pretty negative. Well, we're a little bit different now, I think. I think we're looking a little bit different here. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 weeks now. So we kind of got a broader consolidation here to what we've seen before. We're not violently going down at the moment. We've definitely had some, bad things happen during this time, whales and other things out there. But it's definitely looking a bit better here. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 weeks. Now, is it going to be 8 weeks before we take off? Like at the end of this week, are we going to get a lift up? Obviously, we've got bullish things happening with Bitcoin, with Ethereum. We've got bullish things happening with the Clarity Act. Maybe we'll get some good economic news to continue. We've had good employment data. GDP is probably going to be really handsome. Benefiting from oil in the United States. US definitely looking really good. We're going to take off. Or do we need another 4 weeks to consolidate down this range? I don't know. But certainly this is looking different. We've got the RSI looking oversold. We've got this here looking like a long consolidation, unlike we've really seen before in the chart on the weekly basis. And so are we going to get something like this blue candle here and finally get rid of our downtrend? So if we look at the bigger, longer picture, we've got this mega downtrend all the way from the beginning, this yellow line. Are we finally getting that consolidation? It's certainly looking optimistic and definitely looking like we've got some structural change there in my view. And so, yeah, fingers crossed that we can do that. Now, will it take another month? I don't know. Will it take 4 months? Sort of humming down here. I don't know if it's going to be that long, but certainly, it's plausible. But we're on 8 weeks right now, certainly pushing new ground. And so are we going to get a move high here? Now, where do we have to move to kind of get rid of this big, long yellow downtrend that's been around forever, 36 months or whatever it's been? We've had 9 red months down as well. We saw, the Crypto Paradise guys talking about our green month. So let's have a quick look at the green month on the old Pulsechain chart. And you can see, yeah, after all these 9 months down, we've got 1 green month right here. So is this the beginning of something beautiful? Is this the beginning of something beautiful? Now look at the past. We haven't really had that many green months in a row. I mean, three is our best. And that was early on, December 23 to February 24. Are we going to get a string here going on? At least get more green months than we do red months and start zigzagging the way back up. Now I have here the next target as being 4 zeros 1200, right? So obviously we've got to lose a zero, but this is kind of the mark for me on the shorter time frames, and that fits pretty well because if you think about when we're coming down here, we've got lower highs, right? Lower highs and lower lows. Well, maybe the low is in at 7,000, and maybe if we can breach out this higher low here, just above 1,200, this yellow line I've put in here, we can start breaking that mega downtrend that we've got, and upwards we go. Now, ultimately, we want to break this mark here as well, this orange line. See this orange line here? That mark there is at, let's just round it up, but let's say 1,700. So I think 1,200 and 1,700 are the two marks, but the 1,200 is kind of crucial to break this downtrend that we've had since August, and hopefully contributes to this mega break. And ultimately, we've got to get back over 1,700 and start finding support there and zigzagging back up and game on, right? So at the moment, if you think about it, during the Pulsechain sacrifice as one benchmark, it was $85,000 to get a billion pulse. Now you can get a billion pulse for $7,600. So how the world has changed since the sacrifice down. That was a long time ago. But when you double the price here, if you go from 17.6 to, was it 1,600, for example, that would get us pretty close to this orange line. You're going to get way less pulse, right? Pulse becomes way more expensive just with a 2x kind of thing. Game on from here. Just getting up to 100% would be 1,550. And it's just game on. You're just getting so much less pulse with the V2 pulls. And the other thing is that if you have certain amount of people buying down here, you've got to absorb their selling. So maybe they're going to sell. You're going to get some sellers with that sell at a 2x, right? So they'll sell once we get up to this orange line, right? And so we maybe get a profit taking, and we find support at 1,200, and then we move back up. So there's always going to be some profit taking. Maybe some people down here aren't going to sell until they get a 3x. There'll be a few of those too. And so on. So you've got to zigzag your way back up. The other question, of course, is market makers. What market makers might come in? Which tokens might lead? Some people have ETH leading. Fat Sammy talks about maybe ETH on Ethereum leads the Pulsechain. Other people have maybe ProveX leads, right? Because they had a recent sacrifice, got all that sacrifice money. We've seen a market maker move on that already on ProveX when Richard Hart posted out his X post, and that timed with the market very well. So maybe we will see ProveX lead the way forward. We'll see. Obviously, some of the thinner liquidity pools are easy to move, and we'll be watching out for all those moves moving forward. But actually, I think things are looking quite nice so far. May it continue. Now, there's always a bear scenario. It's looking, kind of unlikely, but it's always a chance that could happen. On the monthly, we can always come down a bit further, right? So, but the weekly is certainly looking positive to the upside play. So. Let's see how we go on. Fingers crossed. We've got some cool protocols launching things. Liberty Swap. We know we've got Cabby Wallet. So we are in wallet season. Apparently, we're in Telegram bot season as well. And we've got a bit of gaming going on too. So there's a bit of things growing on the old Pulsechain. And then we've got a whole backlog of world-class devs working on some top-tier utility protocols. Probably just waiting for the market to turn. And maybe once we start turning here, they might start launching. And of course, we'll be following ETH and Bitcoin as it rallies into the next sort of 18 to 24 months. And everything starts to inflate, right? So keep a lookout for that. All right. So I hope you guys enjoyed that general commentary and where we are here. It's exciting times, I think, moving ahead. And the train is definitely starting to leave the station. This week is very, very important. The stretch ATM running for the next 3 days, big deal. And then, of course, the Clarity Act on the 14th. So awesome stuff. Great to see a new chair essentially be, put a wash there into the Fed. Everything's starting to line up for a big run there. And, of course, we'll still have some volatility potentially around the Iran deal there. All right. I hope you enjoyed it. Take care, everybody. And I hope you enjoyed the new intro, which is going to be the outro. So take care, everybody. And bye for now.